I own and operate Ralph's Auto Center with my son Andrew. We're located at 867 Church Street in Norton, New Bedford, just off of exit 5 off of Route 140. Very easy to get to, not a traffic light or a stop sign if you're coming off the highway. There we sell quality used cars priced from $4,000 to $15,000, and trucks and SUVs from up to $20,000, and we do sell cars costing and trucks costing considerably more for those who want them. There we offer a quality line of cars. They all come with a 90-day warranty, and we put a lot of work in getting them ready so that you're not spending money, the day after your warranty ends. Okay. The difference between us and many of our competitors is we put more money in our cars before we take your money and put it out the door. So shop around, but put us on your shopping list and compare us. We have no problem competing. That's our job. We have to get out there and compete every day. Frankly, we're up for election every hour we're open. You vote with your dollar, and we're very aware of that. So we work hard for your vote. So look us up, and you can give us a call here at the radio station, WBSM, at 996-0500, 996-0500. We can talk about whatever's on your mind. And if you have a car problem, we're coming into the winters looking ahead. Winter's right around the corner, and now's the time to get your car in shape. So you're not dealing with the problems. If you procrastinate and the day we get that real big chill down and your car doesn't start, or your car freezes up because you haven't checked your antifreeze in 5 years or ever, now's the time to pay attention to these things. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And pay me now or pay me double later. So take your pick how you want to take your medicine. If you have a choice of picking your medicine at the time, now's the time to do it. Then have to be forced to pay the medicine when you didn't want to. So you neglect your horse is going to neglect you most when you need it. Okay, this is your modern day horse. It's a mechanical horse, but you have to take care of it, and it pays to invest a little bit of money and stay ahead of it. There's two kinds of people out there: those who maintain their cars so they don't break, and they spend a little money to keep it going running well, and there are those who drive it till it breaks, and when it breaks they have a lot more expense because they just drove the life out of it, and they say, to hell with it, I'm going to spend the money. Then they flip out when you tell them how much it's going to cost to fix their cars, and they just sucked the life out of it, and they think it's going to run for nothing. Well, that's not the case. It's not the case when you get into machines that do work for you. Okay, not only do they cost you fuel or energy, you have to keep them up. Okay, you fellas out there who run machines, who run backhoes, front end loaders, trucks, you know what I'm speaking about. The machines don't work for nothing. They have to be maintained. I'm sure the people at Keating, making all that blacktop and asphalt, crushing those stones, know all about maintenance. They're maintenance mechanics there, and keeping the equipment running. It's a constant investment of time and energy and parts. There's nothing for nothing. Nothing works for nothing. So that's the way it is. You have to stay on top of your machine. And now is a particular time for tires. A lot of people neglect their tires. I see people whiz by me, 70, 80 miles an hour plus, and they're going around with tires at or below the wear bars, and it's like nothing. They're oblivious to what's happening. They don't realize that their life rides on these tires, and it could be a rainy day, and if they have to hit the brakes, they're gonna learn what skating's all about real quick. And it amazes me how people put their life and others at the peril of poor equipment. Okay, and now's the time to think about tires. We have tires. We offer some deals for cars like the compact cars, smaller cars. You can get a set of 4 new tires, out the door, mounted, balanced, including sales tax and disposal, for around $275. For a lot of the cars like the Corollas and the Camrys, in that class, roughly speaking. So we offer some tremendous tire values that beat the big guys, frankly. And you can talk to Ulysses or me about that, and we can give you, different proposals. I usually give people like 3 proposals of good, better, and best, and it depends on your driving needs. If you're bopping around town, then you don't have to blow your brains out. But if you're commuting a lot on the highway, then you can upgrade. Okay, buying tires are like buying shoes or sneakers. You get what you pay for. Okay, you buy a cheap sneaker, you bought a cheap sneaker. You buy a better one, then it holds up better. Or if you're a runner, and they just hold up together under a lot of pounding, if you will. So, but you need advice on it. Okay, some people just go by the ad, or some salespeople, they really don't do much research. They're going to sell you the tire that they have the best spiff on, because the company's giving them, you know, a new jacket or a new hat or what have you, incentive to influence you to go in that direction. We try to be upfront and transparent with people and offer the best values for your buck, and that's where we're orientated, is in value. And be it for tires or auto maintenance, we do a lot of restorative maintenance. We do maintenance, meaning if you come in, you know, for some work, we just do what's necessary to keep the car running, and don't have to replace all kinds of parts if they still have life to them, and the car's going to remain safe to drive. So we save a lot of people money in having that approach. Some places you go and they want to change everything because everything's worn out, and your bill has gone from a relatively modest amount to a substantial amount, and it sometimes is not necessary to spend all this money at that point, when other parts have life that are associated to the device that has to be fixed. So it's how you want to approach the problem, okay? And that's where we excel. And we ask that you just shop us and compare. We have a very friendly approach. We offer oil changes starting at $19.99 plus tax and disposal. That means you'll be out the door for $24.98, and that includes 5 quarts of semi-synthetic oil with a new filter. And synthetic oil changes start at just under $50 and up, depending on how many quarts of oil you take. So we're very, very competitive with the new car dealerships and the oil change places. And you just have to call us, make an appointment, we get you in, get it fixed up for you. So if you know somebody's experiencing problems with their car, and you're not happy with the service you're getting from wherever, especially some of these chain operations, then you should check us out and give us a shot, and go from there. Or if you know somebody, just refer them to us. They'll be happy that you did. And we're located at 867 Church Street. And the dealership's number is 998-1141. 998-1141. Andrew's there today. He's probably in and out, so if you call the main number, he sometimes can answer it, sometimes he can't, because on Saturdays we don't have a full crew, and it's the sales department is open right now, and goes till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And if you're looking for a car or starting to think about a car, you should come by and consult with us. Sometimes it takes us a little bit of time to find a car that fits your needs at the price point you want to be at. But and read our reviews. Go online. Go to ralphscars.com. Check us out. And like I said, we're in the value end of the market. Many people end up with payments that are less than their cable bill, and a quality car that you're not putting money in it the day after the warranty ends. Okay, unless you have bad luck, real bad luck. But 99% of our people are very happy with us, and we try to continue that goodwill, because that's how we rely on is referrals. People like you who are happy with our services, and they come to us. We've been at it for quite a long time, since 1959. We started in New Bedford on Allen Street, Allen and Oak. That's where we had our original start, and thank God we're still at it. And we'll try to keep the good fight going. So if you're looking for quality transportation, check us out. We can help you out. And also, don't forget, we're coming into Christmas, and you know, the time you think about gifts, we have a great line of radios I sell. Grant, this is no profit center, it's more of a service to people. I love radio, and I've been listening to radio all my life, international, shortwave, amateur, you name it. And today, the quality of radios is terrible. Okay, what are you going to buy at the Walmarts and the Targets? Forget about it. They play loud, and that's about it. They don't receive hardly anything other than the strongest stations around. So if you enjoy listening to AM radio in particular, these radios excel in that. They have better antennas, better circuitry made to have, or the intelligence to pick up these stations, to reach out and bring them in, and also select them. They have to have the ability to hear it, see what's out there, and also the ability to separate what's out there from all the other QRM and QRMERI, and that's amateur terms, to bring it forward so you can listen to what you're hearing out there clearly. And these radios, for the money, excel at that. And they start at a mere $63 for the Crane Pocket Radio. It's the most advanced little transistor radio. to use a term, that you're going to find in a marketplace for sharp money, and it comes with a set of headphones as well. It's a hell of a set of headphones. Actually, they're very good. 63 bucks. Very modest amount. It's a very advanced little radio. When you see it, a lot of people are highly impressed. I love mine. I use it pretty much every day, or evening, I should say, because sometimes I wake up and I just turn it on, and it goes off automatically, so you don't kill the batteries. It works on 2 AA batteries. Very cheap to get batteries for AA, not a 9-volt, which are expensive and don't last long. And we have the tabletop, starts at $75, and we have the top of the line, their flagship, which is the Crane 2E, and that's at we sell them for just under $150. They sell it online for $180 plus shipping, so it costs you like well, by the time you get like $185, and we're substantially below that price, internet price. You can check them out. I'm not afraid. Go online. You're not going to find a better deal already delivered. So we've got them in stock. Actually, I have a shipment coming in because we ran out of the top of the lines. We should have some next week. We have the pockets and the $75 tabletop. But the shortwave, right now, they're not importing them into the country. I don't know if they're changing vendors, but that line, the AM/FM shortwave field radios they built, which we sold for about 100. What did we sell that for? $120, I think, right around there. I can't get them. They had no more coming into the country, so I don't know what's up with that. But I have one. People who have them like them, so we'll see. I do have a shortwave though, size of a paperback, which is an advanced little radio, very, very advanced, for like $89, $99, $90, which is an excellent value. Very sophisticated device, and that also comes with a set of headphones, and it's like a size of a small paperback book. So we've got several callers on the line. Let's go from there. A very good morning to you, caller.
Very well.
Hey.
This is one of your valued customers.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
In fact, I'm glad you mentioned the radios, because I'm thinking about that for my dad for Christmas.
Yeah, well, that's really a great gift. It really is.
Yeah, yeah. And I also want to let you know that Ulysses did a really great job for me on, the Jeep with the plow I'm trying to sell.
Oh, yeah, okay. I know who this is. Yep.
Well, what happened with me is I'm going to need a tranny for my automatic, which he's looking for a deal for me.
Oh.
And all I did was I transferred the plates, and I'm going to use that until the 01 is fixed.
Okay.
And he did a really good job, very inexpensive.
I didn't know that you needed a tranny. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But he did, on the one that he fixed, he found the problem because it wouldn't start, and it was something electrical.
Uh-huh.
And it was very inexpensive. And
good.
The bloody thing runs like a clock.
So he treated you fair then. Yeah, good.
Oh, in fact, he told me not to drive it too far because I don't have a proper sway bar on it.
Okay.
But yesterday I went all the way to the casino, and the bloody plow acted like a sway bar. I wasn't swaying at all on the highway. It was going straight and through.
Well, that's good. So you were safe then, I hope, right?
Oh yeah, okay. Your guys do a really good job on my vehicles here.
Well, I appreciate that. I saw the rig there. I didn't know why it was parked there for some time. The plow truck, the plow Jeep,
well,
I should say.
I was going to sell it, but like I said, I needed a tranny for the other one.
I see.
So
the
I'll
one.
get around with this, and maybe I'll sell it. Maybe I won't, because it runs so good. I hate to get rid of it.
This is the one without the plow, right?
Both of them.
Oh, okay.
They run so good. Like I say, I realized because when you did the tranny flush on the one that's there, it ran beautiful for quite a while until the engine light came on.
Okay.
But it was funny because a couple of times the engine light went out on its own.
Huh.
But it kept giving the same, when it was on, it was giving a torque converter.
Okay.
The reading.
Yep.
But like I said, your guys have been keeping me running for a good long time. So
good.
I got no complaints.
Well, I appreciate you calling in and saying that. Thank you.
Why not? I mean, you deserve to get business, and like I've brought you through. In fact, my dad switched over to you, and my sister is switching over to you too.
Well, we appreciate it.
You get business from the family.
Well, we try to earn your goodwill. We work hard. We know, if you prosper, I prosper, and the community right now is struggling, and it makes it harder on us and struggle. So we have to deliver value. and treat people with respect, because everybody's watching the dollars, and you have to maximize it. So it's tough out there. So you have to respect where people are coming from.
Yeah, well, like on the tranny, Ulysses was saying, which I can understand. He said that it might be kind of high because he said parts are being jacked way up because people are keeping their old cars, which is true too.
Yeah. Well, sometimes we can find you a replacement at a very reasonable price.
Yeah, he told me he was going to look around.
Yeah, so I'll talk to him about it when I see him.
And I told him not to put a rush on it because lately I've been going there and you're going gangbusters over there. Certain days I'm there, like he can't even sit down for a minute.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we've been busy, and plus we're not overstaffed, so everybody has to work hard. We just can't afford to.
Yeah, I'm hoping you can get back on Saturdays though, because I miss that.
Yeah, well, if we had, believe me, we constantly talk about that.
Oh yeah,
We'd like
I know.
To be able to do that.
You can't get anybody.
Right.
That's
the staffing and that's the problem today. Finding skilled help who care, who give a damn.
Right.
Right. I mean, I can't. We're very particular with who we hire. We want responsible people.
Oh yeah, because like the guys you got there are all good.
Yeah. No, we try to, and it's unfortunately a lot of people we interview lack some, not just the skill sets, but the acumen to be up front and conduct their affairs accordingly. So it's a difficult society.
I'll keep my eye out, because as soon as you start open Saturdays, that's the oil change, because I like the first come first serve was good.
Yep.
And like I say, that I miss is the Saturdays, because I work Monday through Friday.
Yeah, the Saturdays they were straight out from bell to bell. There's no question about that.
All right.
Well, we'll look at that.
Well, okay.
Thank you.
Nice talking with you, Ralph.
Pleasure. Thank you for calling.
Take care. We'll see you.
Thank you for your business. Who's up next? Very good morning. Morning. Good afternoon.
Chaplain Amadeo.
Hey,
I always want to check in. Can you believe C. Crane has been a sponsor of Coast to Coast George Norrie for 15 years?
Oh, yeah.
They are an excellent product, and you do have better prices because you buy volume. I've spoken to a dozen people. I don't know how you don't cuss on the radio. That's the only thing I said was, this is a brilliant man because he can hold his cussing back. And in front of me, I go, holy crap, I'm going to pray for you. So,
hey, come on. You make me sound like I'm a sailor coming ashore here.
I just want to check.
This is from the guy who almost got killed walking into his house. You had your house booby-trapped.
I know, the floodplain.
Floodplain. I thought I was in Vietnam.
Cop said, what's this for? I said, for the dumb blondes to fall down so I could have my way with them. It's a floodplain. I'm in a floodplain. He goes,
Yeah, but
he left.
You better have a sign there, though.
He too tripped on it, right? I said, look at it, dude. It's white. You can't.
Yeah, but when I'm looking at you and I say, come on in, and I'm looking at you and I'm not looking at the floor, and I see this booby trap.
Yeah. During the night, we get, during full moons, like a double moon, the water wrapped around the house. So anyway, I just want to say, God bless you, Andrew.
God bless you.
You're welcome. I don't know how you cussed.
How's your car running?
When you're not on the radio, and I'm praying for you. And 40 people know you. I can't believe over 35, 40 years. Like Brock said, you know him? And everybody at school, no man in, the high school. Can you believe some of those 12th graders are reading on the 4th grade level?
Oh, I have no doubt about it.
Unbelievably dumb. And that's why you say you got to get a vocational education and get your head checked, because their IQs are 0.
I know.
And you start beating up teachers. I saw that in the 80s. I said, that's it. I'd clean out my class. I'd take detention. I'd move. I told you, I moved my desk because the girls had no delegates, and they just spread those things. And I got the principal down there, and he said, out, 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 and wrote the parents and said,
Ralphie, I have empathy.
Young girls need delegates, and I'm being discreet.
Yeah,
unbelievable. Because I was once a handsome man. Now you shut up. God bless you, Ralph.
Ralphie, I have empathy for teachers, because I see when you're done with them, they come into the private sector to work. And years ago, I had an epiphany. I said, "My God, do teachers have to deal with this? We're blaming the teachers for all these failures." He checked out, and It's we have to change the way our society, the direction of thinking. Hi, caller, you're on. Thank you for calling. Hello, are you there? Oh, maybe not. Hello, give you a chance to come in. Hello, I hear you.
Ralphie.
Hey, Billy.
Yeah.
Okay, you're on live and in color.
I am?
Live and in color.
Wow.
Speaking about live and in color, we are live on YouTube, right? We're All About Cars channel, right, Matt? I got that right? We're live now.
We're being recorded.
We're being recorded. Okay, so
but we will be up on YouTube.
Yeah, because these programs are put on YouTube, so you can tune us in
anytime
you want.
Yeah.
Time shift for what it's worth. Billy, how are you, sir?
What's going on?
Oh, another day in paradise. Working hard, enjoying all what's happening. We're living in very interesting times politically.
Mm-hmm.
And economically, and business, and cars.
I heard a big rumor the other day.
Yeah.
About you.
Oh God. Oh jeez. No, I'm not running for office.
Oh, you took your words right out of my mouth. You're running for mayor, I heard.
Oh God, no. That would not be me.
Why not?
Well, I don't live in the city right now.
Well, yeah, you have to move back in.
I'd have to move
run
back.
For mayor.
Yeah. I guess my wife would like that.
I
She'd
don't know.
Some peace. She'd have some peace.
She could be the first lady of the city.
Oh, yeah. No. There are others, I think, more qualified. No.
Anybody
it would be a jihad.
City.
Huh?
What we got now, anybody can. It's going to be an improvement. Whoever gets in there.
Well,
compared to now.
I'm not gonna. It's a tough job.
Well, you got a tough job now selling cars. So what's the difference? Same idea.
Well, same idea. Yeah. The city's got a much bigger budget, though.
You got to deal with people one way or the other.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
Maybe that was. I hope I heard that rumor right, but I guess it's just a rumor, huh?
Oh yeah, it's a rumor for sure. Yeah. It's like my demise, like Mark Twain said. The rumors of my demise. This little prose he wrote.
I don't know.
The
thing is, I think if you got mayor, you can give me a good hell of a job.
That's how it works, right? That's true. Well, that's what you're okay. At least you're up front with your motives.
Oh yeah, go from there. Give me a good job, will you?
At least you're up front. Yeah. I'd make you my XO officer. Oh God, you'd be pissing everybody off.
I'd love to do that.
And we'll put you in whatever municipal vehicle you want to drive. No problem.
All these perks.
Then,
I love this.
Can I don't want to talk bad about the dead, but the former Mayor Cianci of Providence. Maybe there's some way I can figure out a tax break for you, Billy. Lower your taxes. I mean, Cianci did it.
Do that one.
He got spanked for it, but
yeah. But, I know how to do that, Ralphie.
Yeah.
I know how to do it. Get on your table.
Well, that would be too much up front. Maybe there's other ways we can kind of get money to you indirectly to help subsidize it, And,
oh boy, you one hell of an organization,
and still be transparent, or have the air of transparency, okay? Like we see now in these
Ralph,
yeah.
There's administration is some crooked.
Well, you're talking at the national level. You're talking at the national level. Yeah.
You want to get for president?
Well, no, I'm saying that as far as crooked, we're talking at the national level.
Yeah.
I think.
Over here, we wouldn't do that.
No, I think in all fairness, the current administration is transparent, and I'm talking municipal now. At the federal level, I think not.
No. No, I don't think you could do that. You'd have to be too straight. That would upset this city something terrible. To be up front. You know what I mean?
Well, I know at the national level it's a problem. But,
yeah. Hey, Ralph, let's get on with this. Come on.
Okay.
We gotta get on with this. I gotta get I gotta see who's gonna be the chump today. we ain't had this little war going on here.
All right. Okay. This is the time of.
Lines are wiped out for the day.
We're in a very confrontational mode in this country right now. So let's continue.
Right along with it.
Yeah, let's continue it.
All right. Now
you've agreed that I did not influence these questions. I didn't buy you lunch or take you to dinner.
No, sir. I do it on my own.
Okay, so
and I know you don't use that computer.
So but we didn't buy you off any shape, way, or form.
No.
Okay. I just want the audience to know that I didn't buy you lunch or You know.
No, I'm trying. I
Okay.
get these questions from when I remember them from way back when. A lot of them way back. I gotta admit that.
So we didn't shuffle
Way
the deck.
before
Okay.
your time, I know some of it.
Okay. So the cards aren't cut. Playing no games.
No?
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
What company used to build washers and dryers? And it was an independent company, car company.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
What company used to build washers and dryers?
Yep, washers and dryers, and they were independent.
And then they try to soak people to try to buy a car. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I don't know, you probably got to wash and dry if you bought a car. I don't know back then.
Yeah, you got washed and dried, all right. Yeah.
Right.
They soaked you, and then they dried your wallet out.
Oh,
Hey, what the hell's changed? I mean,
Yeah, well, that's how it used to be back then.
well, do you think anything's changed?
And this was in the 50s now. I'm getting a lot of hints. This was in the 50s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, you're making me really dig deep on this one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. Matt can tell my. Well, actually, I'm. This is being. My hands are not on my computer. I am not looking. I'm looking at my screen, but I have not typed in it. Right, Matt?
And
You
if
can
you
agree
don't
with
get
that.
this one, boy, I'm telling you.
Well, Billy, you're making me. I have to.
tell you.
I have to thank, and God rest his soul, Mr. Barrett. Eddie Barrett, who was the head of automotive
Yeah.
at
well,
New Bedford
yeah.
Vocational when I was a very good student there. Thank God Watermont living now to challenge me on that. But although I did meet Mr. Coker, Eddie Coker's son, who came in with his father-in-law, and I have to say that did please me immensely to know that Mr. Coker is still alive and well and kicking, and pray in good health. So those old timers, I did in spite learn something from their reproofing.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, it didn't show. I can tell you that. But
Oh, you're a late bloomer.
yeah, needed a few more kicks in the ass to kind of,
Oh, boy. I
kind
don't
of
know.
like when you're getting, you got to take a few beatings to wake up. Now it's not beatings. Today, before we criticize you, we
Yeah.
hug you first and tell
Oh.
you how great you are. Then we politely suggest you make some changes,
Uh-huh.
and then we give you another hug and tell you how great you are.
Oh.
And that's how we do it today.
Oh,
Whereas
I
the
know
old timers we had would say,
Yeah.
"Hey, what the hell's wrong with you? Kick you in the ass. Wake up, you stupid blank, blank, blank." And you say, "Geez, this
Slap
guy."
the back of the head.
Yeah, that was in school in the old days.
Wake up there, dummy.
Yeah. So now, but I think of a company.
All right, go ahead. We're back on track. Go ahead.
Because you're trying to get me done. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to get me done. But I might be done. I might be, toasted on this one. But all I can think of,
Yeah.
and I have to think, when I got back to Mr. Barrett. Why do I say
Okay.
that? Because I used to be placed under a little more observation and supervision when they would make me stand by outside his office in a library next door to it and
Mm-hmm.
be at his call and beckoning. Like, go take this up to Mr. Janiak. Things like that, and run errands to the different departments. And also, you would kind of like, it was like a lot of people didn't like being there. It was kind of like being a detention kind of deal. Okay, you were doing penance. But I liked it. So I didn't mind doing penance. Why? Because I could read all these books.
Good.
All the magazines
All
that
right,
used
so
to come in, Auto Age. So I thought that was a good time to do. Okay, I put my time to use, and I'd read all these books and magazines there about the trade, pretty much all automobile related. And I can remember a company called the Calvinator Company.
Yeah.
Calvinator. And they made refrigerators,
Mm-hmm.
washers, and dryers.
Yeah.
And they were owned by the Rambler Corporation,
Mm-hmm.
AMC, Rambler at the time. And I think that's the connection.
You got it.
That's the connection.
AMC made
Thank you.
washers and dryers
You know?
in the early 50s. You're right.
Thank you, Mr. Barrett.
Yep.
So I have to kind of credit that to him and
If you-
to myself, because I put
AMC, so if you missed this one, I was going to say, wow.
I put my detention time to good use, and, and the school kind of educated me in an indirect way, in spite of my behavior.
Yeah.
And that's how I remember reading about that back then, Billy, and that was a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, here's another one for you.
I'll go. Okay. Trying to get me done.
All right. AMC.
Yeah?
Here we go. Up your alley. Made two types engines back then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Two
You know what I
types of engines.
They were made out of different materials.
Okay.
Let's put it that way. Six cylinders.
Okay.
What kind of? There's two of them now. What were they? Do you remember what they were made out of?
Well, the only one I could think of, and I'm a little surprised because I'm not too knowledgeable on that, but I know they had the iron engine, head and block.
Yeah.
And they probably poured one in aluminum. But there weren't many of those.
I thought we would get you on these two.
Yeah, but did they pour that in a 6-cylinder?
Yes.
In aluminum?
Yep, aluminum engines. Yep, cast iron, all aluminum.
It was all iron or all aluminum?
All aluminum, according to what the...
Yeah. Well, I didn't see many of those. I vaguely remember those, but they were AMC.
Yeah, it said two Ambler classic 6-cylinder engines, cast iron or aluminum.
Boy, they're way ahead of their time, huh?
That's what I'm saying. I didn't know if you'd get this one.
Yeah, but they were way, way ahead of their time.
Yes.
Compared to the big guys who just were raking in the dough, selling your eye, and the little guys like Chrysler and AMC and Willys, they were more inventive.
They had to be.
Yeah, they had to be to survive. You're right.
Yeah.
And those who were more studied their product would buy the cars. As I said earlier in an earlier program, I mentioned to you, I didn't really appreciate AMC because I thought old people bought them back in the 60s.
Well, that's what it's known as.
Until a girlfriend of mine had one, and the seats recline. I go, whoa, these cars are pretty cool. When we go parking, that was, and that's well before the Japanese cars came out with it.
Well before, yes.
Yeah. Yep. So the Americans, and actually, when you think about it, AMC had built some sedans with all-wheel drive, which were precursors to the Subarus.
You're right. That's right.
Way ahead of their time. Yep. Way, way ahead of their times.
Right.
And they never really gained strong traction. They didn't have the marketing. They didn't sell the sizzle like the GM and the Ford sold the sizzle. But they built a good product. Chrysler did try to sell sizzle, but AMC, those guys didn't have the marketing prowess that the other guys did. So they sold you a bag of crap, but they marketed it as gold. And AMC engineered a good car ahead of this time on many of the engineering designs.
Well, a lot of engineers had seven main bearings on some of the engines.
Yeah, the six-bangers, you're right.
You're right, and they were overhead valves.
Yep. Yeah, they didn't build no flatheads. Yeah, other than back in the 50s, way back.
Yeah, way back. After that was there were overhead valves.
See, overhead valves, for folks who don't know, the engine breathes more efficiently. Flatheads, it's not as efficient way to feed the engine fuel or for it to exhale its exhaust wastes. So flatheads are not as efficient. You can't get the mileage out of them or the horsepower out of them as you can with an overhead valve. And that's why overhead valve engines, whether they're push-rod driven or cam driven, overhead cams, are more performance, more efficient, and getting more out of them, especially the overhead cams and things. So, yeah, the technology is radical, really gone ahead.
Well, you get 2 stars today.
Yeah, I know it, huh?
And I'm the chump. Because I thought I was going to catch you on this one.
Well, I had a high-test coffee today. I normally don't drink caffeinated. But I was burning the candle.
Coffee, huh?
Well, I went with high test today, so normally I don't. I use regular coffee caffeinated as a drug. Okay, it is a drug. It's caffeine, but I don't drink caffeine normally unless I want to use it as a drug, and that's what I did today. Kind of because I stayed up late and working and things. So.
All right,
okay, Billy.
2 stars, my man.
Thank you for call.
I'll try again next week to get you.
That was a good question on the Calvinators, though.
I thought it was. No, I don't know if many people realize that AMC did make that stuff.
No, I think, well, if you're under, if you're under 60, I don't think you know, or unless you're well read, but into history of automobiles. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
All right, my boy.
All right, Billy.
See you later.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye.
Yep, bye-bye. Okay, we got a caller here waiting patiently. Hopefully, caller, you still with us?
Yes. Good afternoon. Actually, by this time, I didn't have access to a pen at the time, but I was listening to the beginning of your show in regard to radios of high quality for those of us who, like AM specifically. I was wondering where exactly you're located for those.
We're located. Are you familiar with New Bedford?
Yes.
Okay, we're in the north end of New Bedford. We're very close to Regal House Furniture. Are you familiar with that is?
Yes, it's the far north end, correct?
Right. Well, yeah, not the far, but
not
we're
far, right? Not Tassequin by any means, but I know where you're at.
We're right off exit 5 on Church Street. If you come by 140, and if you come down Church Street, you're heading south.
Right.
You'll hit Regal House Furniture, then a big red building which is Webb Plumbing and Heating. Then a little building which is Dollar General, and right after that is Ralph's, right beside Dollar General. and it's just down about 100 yards from Regal House Furniture, which most of the gals know where that is.
Right. I got
And
you.
we're there. We have the radios. We have the little pocket one for $63. A very advanced little transistor radio. It's a modern version, radically improved over the old days. And we have
Great. Because I was when you say the crank it, you literally crank it? Literally?
No. It's a C Crane is the name of the radio. They do have crank models, but not this. Those are like emergency radios. These have work on 2 AA batteries, and usually those are very available and ubiquitous everywhere. So
right, but you can listen to all AM stations.
AM, FM, or weather band, yeah.
Okay.
And they make a tabletop for $75, which is strictly analog. It's an analog dial like the old radios. Very simple.
And my last question is, I remember back in the day, the good old days, I'm 44, listening to AM and different channels, like different shows are on. For example, on AM you could get CBS soap operas at that time. Is that still possible to get?
Yes, it is.
All right,
there's
great.
certain programs on FM, like in the evenings on this week, like this evening as an example, at about 6 o'clock in the evening. You can go to, I believe it's WGBH, which is 89.7 or 90.1, and tune in. Garrison Keillor, it's called Prairie Home Companion, which is kind of like a live show, the old homey shows. It used to be Garrison Keillor. Now they have a new fellow who took over since Garrison retired. That's a fun evening if you like radio and you like old-time radio. It's a mix. It's a fun program to listen to.
Right. No, I was, like I said, I used to, back in the day, I remember I used to listen along with my mom to Stan Lip and things like that. And I know they used to have, we'd listen if it was unavailable. Sometimes the lights would go out, so we'd listen to CBS at the time, which had the different.
Are you talking like The Shadow and things like that?
No, I'm talking about the regular soap operas that they also had on TV. But if the TV wasn't working,
right, they do radio versions.
We turn to that. So, but that's what you mean, like they have like storylines and.
Well, yes, it is. They have an interchange. They do a live program. Also, they do play some old time radio, I believe, on Sunday nights on WXTK 95.1 FM, and they'll play some of those old Shadow and those kind of old time radio shows before TV was around, or was just at the very beginning.
Right.
So.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Well, I hope we helped you.
All right, take care.
And stop by if you're looking for radio.
No, absolutely. I'll be doing that. Absolutely. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, we got a caller here waiting patiently. Very good afternoon to you, caller. Hi, are you still with us?
Oh, yes.
Hi.
I just wondered if anyone had called in about a missing parakeet or canary this morning. A friend of mine lives in East Fairhaven. It's in her yard. It obviously is a domesticated bird. I'm just wondering if anybody,
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Maybe call your animal control officer. They can get a hold of it before a raptor gets it and eats it.
I know.
And maybe you can catch it or feed it or something. And I caught one in my yard. I found one of. It was a beautiful bird. Looked like it came up from the tropics. When I saw it, and I captured it. And it was a bitter winter day. This is this year actually. And I called the animal control officer. They came and they were surprised to see this beautiful colored bird. And it was a frigid day. I don't know how it didn't freeze to death, and that's why it probably let me kind of catch it and wrap it in a blanket and get it warmed up. And it must have escaped from somebody's home. I don't know who, but I gave it to them, and hopefully it has a good owner to this day. So
well, that's what I'm hoping. Yeah, she said it is eating from her bird feeder. And it doesn't seem to be bothered by the other birds, which I thought was strange if it is an indoor bird. But
call the Fairhaven animal control officer or the police department and see if they can reach someone, because they can usually connect them with their two-way radio on their public service band.
Okay.
And get someone there to possibly save this little creature's life.
Thank you very much for your help.
Thank you for bringing it to our attention.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay. Give us a call here at 9960-500, 9960-500. Another item I've taken in, and I have them, they just arrived actually, and it's a little different. People say, Ralph, you're going crazy. What the hell are you doing stocking these things? Anyway, I carry a new line of fuel tanks Yes, fuel tanks. I'm in the car business. Cars burn gas. Some burn electric now too, for that matter, but the majority still burn gas, and I don't see that changing, at least not in my lifetime, significantly. They're burning less gas, which is a good thing. Saves people money and resources, although you might give it all back when you have to repair your car, but that's a different subject matter. But I'm carrying these actually the highest quality fuel can that you can possibly buy at any price. Well, let me rephrase that. It's the highest one that you and I as consumers have available to us, other than having NASA build a fuel tank, which these fuel tanks list for $80. $79.99 is what they sell for, which is expensive for a 20-liter can. 20 liters, for those of you who don't know metric, means it's just over 5 gallons. And they build a 10-liter, which is a 2.5 gallon, and they build a 5-liter, which is just over a gallon. And these are the same cans used by NATO military, and they are of the highest quality you've probably ever seen, unless you were in the military and have worked with these fuel cans. It's a can you can store gasoline, and if you have a car, a lawnmower, generator, if there's an emergency or a disruption of fuel supplies, this is a safe way to store fuel around your property. I'm not suggesting you put it in your house. You have to use common sense, but they don't vent or leak. It's the only fuel can approved in all 50 states. Period. There is no other fuel can approved in all 50 states, including California, which is well, it's a pretty radical state, and this can meets their CARB requirements, their environmental board that manages virtually everything you can do there. And they're top of the line. They're the Rolex watch of fuel cans. So you should have a few. They come. I have some in red right now. They come in black, and they come in like diesel. If you want it in yellow, I can get it. It's built by Wavian. They have the contract for building them for the NATO military, and they even use them in Australia, which they're part of NATO, I believe, in an indirect way. And we sell them on the internet. You can go on Amazon. You can look at all the prices, check them all you want. Everybody gets $80 for them, plus shipping. Some places you can do away with the shipping if you buy a big order of whatever, and it's of a certain amount. They'll waive the shipping, but you're spending several $100s. But these cans sell virtually everywhere for $79.99. And you can buy them from us for $65, and that's well below internet price, and that's delivered. Okay, because when you ship these things, they're steel, they're rather heavy, and you're shipping some air in it because it's an empty tank. So these represent a good way to store some gasoline, diesel, or kerosene safely. It comes with a nozzle to pour into a car or into an engine, a lawnmower, or a generator. And the nozzle's approved. It doesn't leak, vent out any VOCs, volatile organic compounds. In other words, vaporize, fuel. And that's why they've done away with the vents on the back of these gas cans today. Their vents are illegal because they're sloppy. They leak fuel, and it evaporates, and it creates a serious fire hazard if you're not paying attention. And a lot of people have burned down their houses or burned themselves. So with gasoline, we take it casually, but if you ever seen gas explode, it'll reorientate your thoughts into how you handle it. Okay, and 99% of the people haven't seen it happen, but gasoline is a terrible thing if it catches fire in a fuel cell, or like your car. And they also make a carrier, so you can mount these. It's a jerry can holder, they call it, and it's made to be mounted to a wall or to your Jeep or to your SUV. And they make a real stout holder, a frame to hold it, and you can lock it so no one rips off your can. These cans will last a lifetime. So if you buy one, you spend a little money, but it'll last a lifetime. Okay, they're built that rugged. Unless someone steals it from you, you'll have it for the rest of your life. Pass it on to your kids. But if you don't have a safe fuel can, this is something to look at. So we have this, an unusual product, yes, but it's an outstanding quality. If you give it as a gift for somebody who is outdoors orientated or survivalist orientated to get through some tough spots, a hurricane, a storm, a nor'easter, this is the way to go. Or if you're a municipality, police department, what have you, this is the way to go to safely store fuel and have some a fuel cell available. It's another unique item that we offer. And it just, these aren't profit centers to us. It just creates attention and buzz. It gives people access to products at below what you're going to pay on the internet. So it's worth checking out. You can have, you know, and they also build some plastic cans for water, which I have some coming. But these are steel, and they were painted on the inside, just painted with a special coating inside the tanks, okay? And this special coating keeps the tank from rusting, because fuel with this gasohol is problematic. So these tanks won't rust from the inside out, because they are painted or sealed with a special coating, which doesn't get eaten up by kerosene, diesel, or gasoline fluids. So that's the difference, and it comes with a pouring nozzle as well, which is like another $20, $25. So when you think about it, getting a nozzle and the adapter to go into a car's little plug there that you have to get past the fuel filler neck, and it all comes in for the same price. So they're a good buy, especially when you go to the stores and you see that the plastic tanks, they're getting $25 for junk, and they're going to last what, 3 years, 5 years maybe, if you really take care of it, and you end up buying a new nozzle for it because it's falling apart within a year. They break off, people break them, you know. So this is a unique product for the money. It's an outstanding value. It's the snap-on wrench of fuel tanks, or the Rolex watch of fuel tanks. I mean, it's the top shelf. You just can't get a better quality for the money. And these are selling for substantially below what you're going to buy them for online. Great Christmas gift for somebody who has everything and you don't know what to get them. But they are going fast. I just got them in, and people, I'm not even advertising them, people are checking them out. We're coming up to the news. Stay with us. We'll be back after the news. WBSM, All About Cars with Ralph Medeiros will return in about, well, I guess we got, 20 seconds or so to go. And it's a gorgeous day out there, actually. It's not bad. A little bit of energy in the air, the wind, but it's an improvement over the rain we've had. And yesterday was kind of raw and miserable, to me anyway. I'd rather see palm trees than 75 degrees, but that's me. We'll be back. We're back with All About Cars. My name is Ralph Medeiros. I own and operate Ralph's Auto Center. We're located at 867 Church Street in the north end of New Bedford, right off of exit 5 off of Route 140. We're just down from Regal House Furniture and Dollar General. We're beside, and we're directly opposite of New Bedford Vocational's faculty bus entrance on Church Street. Very easy to get to. Not a traffic light or a stop sign if you're coming by the highway. So check us out. And there you can get some great auto service. We're very competitive on auto service and upfront and honest. We do only what's necessary to advise our clients in a very upfront manner. We just try to do get you through the day with the least expensive bill possible to get your car safely running again. And also we sell a quality line of used automobiles priced between $4,000 and $15,000, and we thoroughly go through them before you get them, and put a 90-day warranty on them as well. And you can extend that warranty if you so desire, but you're protected for 90 days, where most places on the price point we're at give you 30 days, and that's it. And this comes at no extra charge to you. So we put more in our cars before we, put more money in our cars before we take your money. That's the difference. And we thoroughly go through them. They look nice, smell nice, they're clean, and mechanically are sound. That's the differences between us and the other guys. And go online at ralphscars.com for those of you who have access to the internet. And if you don't, we can always mail you a price list, what have you. Give us a ring up. We'd be more than happy to do it the old-fashioned way, okay? Almost like the Pony Express way, if you wish, for those of you who don't have access. And today, to be informed, you truly have to have access to the internet. If you're relying just to the major news sources, then unfortunately you're woefully misinformed unless you do extensive reading. Go to libraries, university library, the local library, and read different periodicals with diverse opinions and views, and you might get a better grip of what's happening around you. But you have to be very studious to do that and make the physical investment of getting there. Whereas the internet kind of makes that much more easier to do right from your home or apartment. Okay, or if you have a smartphone, for that matter. A lot of younger people using a smartphone, and that's the paradigm shift that's taken place, and that's why the major media has been hollowed out. The CNNs and the ABCs, NBCs, CNBCs, and Fox News. They're losing their narrative, especially with the millennials. They're going online and getting a news source from multiple sources, hundreds, thousands of sources globally. So now it's shifted. They no longer control the main propaganda bite, if you will. Okay, they're losing the narrative, and that's what's happening. And this election more so than ever. Oh, we've got a news announcement here from the Clinton campaign. Let me play this. This just come out over the wire.
You cursed rat! Look what you've done! I'm melting! Melting! Oh, what a world! What a world! Who thought a good little girl like you could destroy my beautiful wickedness? Ah! Look out! Look out! I'm going!
She's melting. Yes.
Way back.
Yes.
I remember when I was a kid, my mom had one. Had the long shift on the floor with the clutch.
Well, you're that old, huh? I'm only kidding.
I am that old.
I'm only playing with you, Don.
Yeah. Who made that car? Do you know?
Oh, God. It's probably just a Graham motor car. A lot of them in the 20s and 30s, they're all gone. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd have to look it up. Billy and I think, have talked about that one time. I don't know about on the radio, but he did bring it up in a conversation.
I was wondering if it was made by one of the popular automakers or not.
No, I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. Gee, I'm trying. I can try to look it up for you, but you're taxing my memory. It didn't have a long life. I think it was in the late 20s, early 30s. That car was around. Part of, I think Rambler had them, or Nash or something. I can't recall.
I don't remember.
Oh, here it is here now.
I thought maybe you might know who made them. I can remember them when I was a young boy and coming up the Seven Hills in Fall River, keeping it way and low and just about make it to the top of the Seven Hills.
Oh, yeah, well, that was a climb in them days, huh?
That was quite a time back then. Of course, that was a long time ago. They didn't have much power, so they left them in one gear and just put your foot on the gas and prayed that it'd make it all the way up to the top.
Yeah. So,
Graham. Well, if you find out, let me know over the radio. I listen to you all the time. You have a very good show every Saturday.
Oh, you enjoy the? Yeah, good. Thank you for doing that and listening to us. Appreciate that. Now, the Graham motor cars, I'm trying to look it up for him right here now. Well, there's a lot of dealerships called the Graham motor cars. I got to find the original. Oh, here it is. Maybe this is it. I found it here. Drilling down. Here we go, I think. Founded 1927. Okay, so it was late 20s. Oh, actually, I made up here. Founder Joseph B. Graham, Robert C. Graham, and Ray A. Graham. Defunct in 1962. Headquarters, Evansville, Indiana, these United States. Graham Page was an American automobile manufacturer founded by the brothers. Gives the dates of birth here. One died in 1970. That was Joseph. Robert died in 67. Graham. And the other brother didn't make it too far. He died in 32. He died young. But since the automobile production ceased. Okay. Automobile production ceased in 1940, just before the war. And his automotive assets were acquired by Kaiser Frazer in 47. As a corporate entity, the Graham Page name continued until 62. Okay, so they're out of the business of building cars in 1940. So there you have it there on that. Let's see, after successful involvement in glass manufacturing, the company eventually sold to Libby Owens Ford. The brothers The Graham began in 1990 to modify kits of Model T Fords into trucks. These guys are quite an enterprise, very entrepreneur. That led to brothers building trucks and using engines of various manufacturers and the Graham Brothers brand. So there you go. They were, I guess, building trucks and doing conversions. Well, they were very, they have to have entrepreneur skills to survive. And that's when America was very vibrant. We invented a lot of things, including the telegraph, the record player. We advanced radio. We didn't invent the radio. Marconi was one of the major players in that, an Italian. He did prosper in the United States, though, in opening the Marconi centers and radio development, which was a new technology at the time, kind of like computers coming on in the 70s. Think of it that way. Radio back in the teens, like 1915 and all that, was mostly Morse code. Got into voice like 1920, and AM radio started in 21, I believe. And the rest is history, and took off in the 30s. And radio was very expensive. Radio's always been expensive, quality ones. And in the late 20s and 30s, well, in the 20s they had crystal sets, and you couldn't really listen on a speaker. They didn't have the means of amplifying them very loud. It wasn't until the 30s with vacuum tubes that allowed the amplification and the tuners to bring in these signals. And radios became much more popular, but they were quite expensive, very expensive. That's why, if one person had a radio in the house, the whole apartment would come and listen to them. If you were, if you didn't have a radio, you'd come listen to the fights, or to the game, or to Roosevelt's fireside chats, that kind of thing. So, and then of course TV came along and was invented in the late 20s and came to fruition in the 30s, but still wickedly expensive. It didn't really take off until the 40s, after the war years, and those sets were very expensive as well. A very good afternoon to you, caller.
Hi, Ralph. Good afternoon. Norm here.
Norm, how are you,
Hey,
sir?
I always call and talk about cars, but you were talking about Marconi.
Yep.
I believe it's Eastham at the National Seashore. They have the Marconi station.
That's
where
correct.
he received the signal.
What's left of it? That's correct.
What's left of it, yes.
Half of it's in the ocean now.
Yeah. Well,
I went down for their 100-year anniversary. I believe it was in 2003.
Yeah.
And I went down there and I met Alexa Marconi. Let me rephrase. I met Princess Alexis Marconi.
No kidding.
One of the daughters of Marconi.
Yeah.
She signed my book.
Wow.
She was very, very nice. Very much like a princess, though. You could tell she had that air about her. And she was with her entourage, and she was there to celebrate the communications of her father's site 100 years ago. And during that time, that was 2003, if I remember correctly, when I was out at that event, the 100-year anniversary. So I have the book signed for her book, and his book. So I have to say that was quite a moment for me to be there.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. So Norm, how is everything in your world?
Well, we're doing okay. As long as the ground doesn't get too muddy, we can keep moving dirt along and do what we have to do.
You're going to undercoat any of those snow plows you got?
I want to bring one truck. I have to have you undercoat it before we get into the rough weather. The last pickup I bought. The other ones are kind of sharp, but before this one gets dead, I want to bring it up. And I'll come see you maybe this week or next week. I'm in the middle of a pretty good sized job in Fall River. When I get done with that, I'll come up and see you and make an appointment.
All right, I appreciate that. We'll talk
you,
about
Ralph.
it. Thank you for calling.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Okay, we got line caller here. Hi, caller. Welcome to the program.
Hello.
Hi. Very good afternoon to you.
Yeah, I believe you also the Wave in Marion.
Yes.
They used to be called the Shortwave Girl.
That's correct. They had a shortwave antenna.
And I believe he broadcasted from that area too.
Yes, they used to do a marine communications station there to go ship to shore or shore to ship. That's right. You're going back in time. Almost forgotten, but you're right on the money.
When I was a kid, there was about 7 towers there. They left a little miniature tower next to the Marconi Village senior for the other housing development there.
Yeah, now they changed the name to the restaurant there. Actually, it's not a bad restaurant. I went out there once. What the heck's it called there?
The Wave.
No, they changed the name now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's a new restaurant. They rebuilt it, put a lot of money in it. Oh God, I can't pull it out of my head. But I was there once this summer, and the chowder is awesome. Very good. Actually, they put kale in the chowder, if you can believe that. It's actually very good. Very good.
All the mucky mucks from Marion go there too.
Well, yeah, I was associating with those mucky mucks that day.
Yeah, the baseball player used to go there. I can't think of his name. The little professor, the Red Sox. He used to go eat there.
Oh yeah. Well, I think also Geraldo Rivera was there too as well.
DiMaggio, his name.
Oh, DiMaggio. Okay.
Yeah, Joe DiMaggio's brother. He lived in Marion and he used to go there a lot.
Oh, okay.
I understand he made his money by when the car was made, he had these franchise to put the rugs on the floor of the cars. So he made a couple bucks out of that.
Did he? So everybody finds a little niche to make a living.
I put up a little 2 cents in today.
What's that? Oh, that's good. I'm glad you called, Roger. I
love that song. Play some more music.
Yeah. You like which one do you like? The
well, I like Edith Piaf, and then when you played her about a month ago, some woman called and said that was beautiful.
Yeah, no, Edith Piaf.
She wanted the English version. You played the French version. She wanted the English version.
Yeah. Yeah, she does have an English version. Not that popular French version. There's a hot tune I could play here for you. The Mills Blues Rhythm Band. You familiar with them?
No.
You were around back then, Bill. It was in 1931. You were around.
Yeah, well, I was born in 35.
I'm only pulling your chain. I'm seeing you around in 31.
What year were you born, Ralph?
51.
50. Oh, I was in the hospital then.
Yeah.
But, by the way, I got you on the phone. My book says I should burn 92 octane.
Yeah.
And I've been using 89. It's been running fine.
Well, yeah, you just don't get. You're driving not a Lincoln. What do you got now?
I got a Continental.
Okay, and it's telling you to put premium.
I've been burning 89 octane. It's running fine.
Yeah, it runs fine. What happens? The computer has a knock sensor, and it'll readjust to that diet. Sometimes you don't get the performance and possibly the extra mileage from that fuel, but that don't let that deter you. You can run a tank or two of high test and see if there's a huge difference, and it's worth the 30 cents a gallon difference. And in most cases, it's not. So if you're not getting on it and commuting at high speeds or towing, so I don't think you have to worry about it too much.
Yeah. You just did a big job on my car about 2 months ago. The cooler wouldn't take the gas.
Okay.
You put two pipes in there. Can you hang on a second?
Yeah, sure.
Hang on a second. What's called
fuel rail?
Fill a fuel tank.
Oh, the fuel to fill neck. The neck.
It's called, yeah, but it's two. Replace charcoal canister and valve.
Yeah. The neck probably rusted in the back. The fuel filter, the fuel fill neck, and it leaks fumes, and you smell it.
Yeah, you've been very kind to me. Piece by piece, I'm taking care of it. So.
Well, we try to work with you. You know that.
Yeah.
At least you got heat, Roger.
Oh, this car, he's only got 44,000 miles.
Oh, that's a beauty. That's a beauty.
It's a 99.
Yeah, that's a beauty. Nothing wrong with that. The only thing is, the next time it's in for an oil change, we'll check underneath, make sure there's no rust starting, and we'll try to get on it ASAP so the car can last you.
It's not good to have a car with low mileage. You should drive a car. I learned that from you.
Yeah, well, but it's good to
drive it. It just stays there, and all the rubber components and the shocks and everything, they rot away, and then you should drive a car.
Well, you should drive it. We can show you ways of prolonging life for peanuts, for pretzels. Just takes a little forethought, that's all.
Yeah. Also, I'll see it on the shop then.
All right. Thank you, Roger, for calling.
All right.
Yep.
No music.
Okay. Bye-bye. Okay, we got callers lined up here. Very good afternoon to you, caller.
Good morning, Ralph.
Hey.
I guess it's good afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I'm wrong.
Oh, no, why? It's still morning, so.
Got a couple of things I wanted to run past you. The first thing is you had a caller in the first hour towards the end about old-time radio.
Yes.
And there's a broadcast out of Canada, a place called Hamilton in Canada, all week long, Monday through Friday, and Saturday, Sunday, at 10 p.m. It's AM 900.
AM 900?
Yeah, you might need one of your C-Crane radios to pull it in. I get it in only on two of my radios. I got a mess of radios, and most of them are garbage, as you accurately pointed out.
Yep.
And I've got an old Panasonic, kind of like a little portable thing that takes 4 AA's.
Yep. What is it, like an RF 2200 or something like that? The Panasonic?
I don't know. I'd have to go in and look.
Well, some of the Panasonic radios, are very good quality.
Yeah. I think Panasonic over the years has made a lot of good stuff.
Yes, they have. Their radios back in the 80s, 70s, and 80s, they built some real nice instruments. Very high quality Japanese. Can't compare it to the Chinese.
No, this is pretty good. This has got 2 TV bands, which of course now are useless. But
You're right. Well,
the AM was very good on it, and I'm anxious to get myself a C crane so I can have a little tape test.
Yeah. So that's AM 900, so 900 megahertz, right? So that's
AM 900, and it's Monday through Sunday all week long at 10 o'clock p.m.
At 10. And that's 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Eastern Daylight Time now.
It comes in pretty good. We get it in on my Panasonic portable and believe it or not, an old clock radio.
So was it out of Ontario or Montreal?
It's called Hamilton. I'm not sure where that is.
Oh, Hamilton, Ontario. Okay. Yeah. Well, usually I listen to Zuma Radio, which is 740 a.m., and they come in the evening. It's a clear channel at 740 out of Toronto, and it's like they have a 50,000 watt station, and they just own that frequency.
That's a big power output, isn't it? 50,000 watts.
Yeah, 50,000 for AM is the peak. Very few stations have that license for that amount of power.
Yeah, because we get a lot of stations out of the middle of Connecticut, Hartford area.
Yeah.
Well, not one in Hartford, and New York City stations that come in a lot more.
Well, you get you get 1080 out of Hartford, if I'm not mistaken. That's like a BZ out of Boston. 1080.
I think it's WTIC or something.
Yes, it's 1080 AM if I remember right. Because I'm in Hartford area quite a bit.
My radios are all analog, so I don't even know what I'm tuning in half the time. And it's usually off by an inch or two.
You'd probably like that premium line Crane 2E digital.
Yeah, I've been meaning to hook up with you and pick up the
I have a
little
shipment coming in very soon. Actually, you can micro tune. You know how the American band tunes every 10? You go 1420, 1430, 1440.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You got an extra 2 fractions after the.
Well, these radios you can go 1421, 1422.
Yeah.
So you can get the European stations in the winter because they broadcast between us, so we don't clash. So if you get into this,
I think there's a whole lot of good stations out there that people are missing out on.
Right. Well, yeah, you have to kind of you have to like do what parents and grandparents did. You have to fiddle with it a little bit.
I want to get myself some big antenna for the roof.
I can show you some ideas on that, depending on what band you want to go for.
That. You and I discussed that briefly about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
And I would love to bend your ear on that one.
Okay.
And that brings me to another point. I talked to you last about a year and a half ago, and we were talking off the air for a while. You didn't even know it.
Okay. I think I recall.
Yeah, this is about my Honda Odyssey van.
Yep.
I'm the guy that had 9 batteries hooked up in parallel.
I remember you telling me that. Yeah, you're quite an entrepreneur when it comes to fooling around with stuff, huh?
Yeah, we drove the van around without the serpentine. The serpentine belt was off for a better part of a year.
That's amazing.
And I was charging up those 9 batteries every night until I finally got around to taking the nose of the van off.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and guess what else? So the whole problem, just to refresh your memory, and for some of your callers who are jaw dropped, is the AC clutch seized up.
Oh, cheap. So you snapped your belt.
No, it just stopped. Everything stopped. I thought for sure we had done something real horrible, like something. I thought something had seized up the engine. I thought it ran out of oil. My wife was driving, so anything's possible,
Yep.
No offense to the ladies. Especially not that lady from Rochester. I don't want to mess with her.
Oh no, Debbie knows her stuff.
Deb, yeah.
She knows her stuff.
I love her.
You're right. Yeah, she's a good gal.
I wish more people like her. Anyway, so the AC clutch seized up, and it took off the serpentine belt, and the water pump was run off a separate belt, so I didn't have to worry about that.
Okay.
And we drove it that way for the longest time. And in the process, to jump ahead of getting the AC clutch off the compressor, because I didn't want to take the compressor up because everything was all charged up, and it's front and rear AC.
Oh wow!
I didn't want to have to spend $200 or $300 to have it recharged.
Yep.
So I just decided just to replace the clutch. I got a reconditioned AC compressor with clutch because that was cheaper than buying the damn clutch by itself. I took the clutch off of it, and the old clutch would not come off of the original AC compressor.
It was fused on the shaft?
Yeah, it was seized big time. I mean, the magnet was seized inside the clutch.
Yeah.
And the whole thing was seized. So anyway, to shorten it up, I used a 3-jaw puller, and I got it off.
I was just going to ask you that. Okay, good.
It snaps the ring that holds the whole thing on.
Yep. Oh, God.
Not just the ring, but the aluminum on the end of the on the compressor.
Oh, so you were SOL?
No, I fixed it.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to make a guess. So we're driving it now with the busted compressor. And how do you think I'm holding on the clutch?
Well, it has a key on there and a nut on the front to hold it tight to the shaft.
Yeah, so that part's still intact. The inside shaft that turns the workings of the compressor is still intact.
Yeah, and the belt, of course, is going on there.
Yep. But, and then I used. You still there?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, I'm on a piece of junk.
Okay.
Oh, full flip phone.
Go ahead.
So the compressor bearing, the clutch bearing, is actually being held on now with a healthy half bottle of red Loctite.
Oh, gee. You're taking. Well, it's not a critical component if it goes down.
Well, I figure if it lets loose, the worst thing that's going to happen is it engages the AC because it's going to back off on top of the outer part of the clutch.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like a water pump or something more serious if it goes down.
It's serious enough because if it falls apart, then the serpentine's up. I'm back where I started from.
Well, yeah, but that AC belt's a separate belt, though, right? You said.
No, it's the water pump is a separate belt, but the AC is on the main serpentine.
Okay. So then you're going to lose your alternator and things like that. Then.
Yeah, when that thing locked up, it seized the whole engine. Nothing would turn.
Yep.
So I guess it is kind of critical.
Well, it'll burn the belt and snap it usually.
It just stopped solid. It wouldn't move.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's an interesting story.
All right. So one last thing. I've been dying to tell you about that.
Yeah. Interesting.
So the Hamilton thing in Canada. Oh yeah, I got a parasitic draw on a couple of my vehicles actually, and I want you to tell me what's the best way of determining how bad it is.
Oh,
and what I did is I took the negative off the battery.
Yeah.
And I ran my DVM across the terminal and then the negative cable.
And see the draw.
And well, there's a question I got for you. What's an acceptable draw?
Very low. Usually like 40 milliamps, something like that.
So less than a volt.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Because I don't have it set for amps. I got it set for volts.
Well, it's milliamps. So the draw would be there. The volts is usually whatever the system is 12 volts. It's 12 volts. But you go by the milliamp draw. So normally
I got a 12 volt draw off of our 05 Accord.
Oh, it's going to be 12 volts because that's the system's voltage. But it's the amount of the milliamps. If it's like 100 milliamps or 50 milliamps, that's the key. So
I'm using the wrong setting on my multi-tester.
Yeah. You got to go by the draw, the amperage. Okay, that gives you. For instance, if you leave a fan motor is going to draw far more amperage than let's say a clock.
Well, the clock is basically the only thing that should be.
Well, no, there's also depending on the year of the car. If it has receptors for picking up keys, remote controls, the brain has to stay alive to know that the owner's approaching with a remote control or what have you. So you do have some extra draw there. But what happens is you have some of these vampire devices, if they fail, like amplifiers, alarm systems. We deal with batteries going dead, and they have higher than usual draw. But if you want, I can look up whatever your car is supposed to have for standby draw and tell you that, and then from there you can go, what your baseline is, and you have to go out and find out why if it's higher. Okay?
Well, I'd be interested in geez, I really should stop by and talk to you. Because I'm looking at my multi-tester now.
Well, I'll give you the data. I mean, I can look up and you tell me to make the model year, and we'll tell you what the standby draw is for that vehicle.
Well, we got a couple different cars.
Well, they power down. Some devices stay waiting, for instructions for 20 minutes, a half hour after. So, but when the car goes to sleep, if you want to call it that, it still has a certain amount of draw for the very basics, like the clock, and some computers stay on standby waiting for instructions. So, but it's a milliamps. It's in a milliamp draw, so it's very low draw. I mean, otherwise your battery, they have to figure engineering-wise, if the car sits for 30 days, will it still start, and all these things. If you're at an airport, all that stuff comes into play.
If I'm running the multi-tester between the negative terminal and the negative cable, right, so the battery's disconnected, and I got it on volts, that doesn't tell me much.
Well, no, you got to go in amperage, go by milliamps. So you got to see what your draw is. If you're going to be a voltage, it's going to be 12 volts. It should be if your battery's up to or more.
I'm not talking across the positive and negative terminals. I'm talking between the negative terminal and the negative cable.
Right, but that's only telling you that there's voltage going out of the battery. The question is how much. What are we drawing? What is the amperage? What are we drawing? It's not the fact that it's sucking juice doesn't surprise me. The question is, how much is it sucking? Is it sucking more than the manufacturer's specifications? Then if it is, then something's left on or not shutting down. That's the key.
What's the basic range that you would think is acceptable for your average vehicle in milliamps?
It's going to be, I would say, under 100 milliamps. It's going to be a very small, like a trickle draw, just to run those devices. If it's much more than that, it can kill down your battery. It depends on every vehicle's different specifications. If you have an expensive luxury car, the draw is going to be high because it has more devices, more computers.
So I'm still a little bit confused about the Accord because I was doing volts.
Yeah.
And on the Odyssey, I definitely have a big draw because I pulled out one of those 40 amp maxi fuses that runs a bunch of sub-circuits.
Yeah.
And that took care of the drain.
Well, then that 40 amp circuit, you have to follow it down and go down to the devices that have 15 and 20 amp fuses on it and see which guy in there has its hand up.
I pulled the whole front of the van apart. I got the dash.
Right.
I could not find it.
All right. Well, let me know how you make out. I got to let you go.
All right. Thanks a lot, Ralph.
Thanks for the call.
See you later.
Yep. Very good. Caller, thank you for holding.
No problem. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
Okay. Have you ever been to the Wireless and Steam Museum in Rhode Island?
No, I haven't.
They have a convention one day a year. It's usually in October. You can certainly look them up on the internet.
Oh.
I'll tell you, seeing all that old technology, both in terms of steam engines and radio, is fascinating.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I would love to see
Today we don't pay attention to how things work anymore.
That's exactly right.
And, whenever I tried to show that in the classroom, other younger teachers, well, they didn't like that, But that's the way.
No, that's a statement worth pondering, because if you know how things work, they work better for you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You may not fix it yourself, but at least you are aware.
Well, but that's right, and you prolong the life of whatever that device is, or that can be said in life and social interaction. If you know how things work.
Well, I've seen like some of the old radios. They have their Atwater Kents and these huge things. The tubes are huge by comparison, and spark gap transmitter and all that. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I dug up. When I was a teenager, I had built a one-transistor radio, and I actually found it and got it back working.
Wow.
And, you got to use headphones. Basically, it's a crystal radio with a one-transistor amplifier.
Yeah.
But the fact that you made it yourself says a lot.
Well, yeah, I built a lot of those radios. They were foxhole radios, used to call them.
Oh, that too, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen things about that, yeah. Where you would use a rusty razor blade as your crystal.
Yeah, you're a teacher. You know about it, yeah.
Well, and, I just learned it over the years. There's a radio club in this area.
Yeah.
Dartmouth.
Yeah. Right on there back of Stackhouse.
Yep, exactly. I wonder how long we're going to be able to keep it alive.
Well, the young people aren't getting into radio comms,
Yeah, well, you can get everything you want today over the internet.
Well, that's right.
Including communications.
I was just scanning an article talking about when the internet went down. With these denied access, and people were distraught. A lot of young people, they couldn't get service. They didn't know what to do with themselves. They were beside themselves because they couldn't be linked.
Well, I think about it for a minute. In a sense, I'm not blaming them. They're brainwashed.
Well, that's true.
You spend hours and hours a day on these things. I've heard the typical teenager is somewhere on their smartphone 9 hours a day.
Well,
I don't know why, but you're mesmerized by it at some point. But I'm part of the old school where it says, the more you know about everything, the better off you are.
Absolutely.
But that doesn't seem to wash.
And our parents and grandparents were that way.
Oh, absolutely.
They were that way, and that's why they were, in a formal sense, far less educated. But that didn't mean they were ignorant by any measure.
Look, I'll tell you something. My father, at the time of his death, and all he had was an 8th grade education.
Yep.
He could read, write, and do math better than some of the students I've had.
Yeah, I agree. Well, somebody made a comment today that high school graduates are reading at a 5th grade level or something.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I went into a burger joint the other day for lunch, and the bill was, let's see, $4.28, and I put down a 10, and I said, "I'll give you the change." First off, she wasn't listening.
Yeah.
Nice kid, but she wasn't listening. So she just rang in, and she was going to give me the change based on 10.
Yep.
Well, I had the $10 bill and the change sitting on the counter.
And you put a crowbar in her gears of her mind.
She was gone.
Right. She couldn't figure it out.
I had to talk her through it.
You know, I like when I do that. I do that at a Chinese restaurant, and before you can blink, the money, the exchange is there, done. They figured it out in 2 seconds.
Yeah. Well, they say some people are better, at least I read it, on an abacus than they are other people on a calculator.
Well, okay, yeah, okay.
Well, in any event. But into politics, I hope to heck this election season is over.
Well, it's
because
like a sports game.
To me, getting out of control.
My friend, the rats are leaving the village. They're getting up to the upper decks. They see the ship sinking. The truth
as I
is going
look
to be
at
pushed
it, you
forward.
got crooked Hillary,
Yep.
and I firmly believe what I'm going to say right now. Trump is the devil himself.
Well, okay, I mean, that's your personal
Look at what
opinion.
only somebody of incredible ego he has, but evil, could get away with the things he's done.
Well, what do you mean precisely?
Oh, the comments he's made, the ridicule of a disabled person.
Well, listen, that's certainly a personality shortfall. No argument.
No. That's evil.
Okay.
That's a man who hasn't, if I look at Hillary, I would say she's crooked and she knows she's crooked.
Well, that's evil
I
too,
would look
don't you
at
think?
Trump and say he doesn't have any moral basis to know the difference between good and evil. To him, good is simply that which serves him.
Well,
and when he ran against all the other Republican candidates, all of them just fell by the wayside in front of the evil one himself. And I'm not kidding. I mean it.
Yeah. Well, no.
This guy is so evil.
Well, I think they both have faults. There's no. I've always said they've had flawed candidates, but I think if you look, I mean, to me, electing Hillary Clinton is just a female version of Al Capone.
Well,
I mean,
you and I may or may not disagree.
It's a crime
like
syndicate.
I said,
it's like the
those
crime
who,
syndicate.
Support Trump are devil worshippers.
Well, I don't know. That's been said about Hillary. To be frank with you,
well, you can say all you want, but he acts like the devil. And when I see that, what I saw in the paper the other day,
I don't see
about
that.
this priest in Rhode Island who said is supporting Trump, and he says he's vulgar, but we're not electing a pope. A priest says that?
Well, we aren't.
Boy,
electing
has
a
your
pope.
soul been sucked out of you, man.
Well, we aren't electing the pope. At least I hope
well,
not.
We
but
always
see,
talk about moral values.
Think back. You're old enough. I don't know if you're old enough to totally remember, but when they elected Jack Kennedy.
Yes.
Oh my God, he's a Catholic. We're going to elect a Catholic to president? And they all came out and sharpening knives against him. Now, back then, the media protected a man in his philandering. You know, if you got a few girls on the side, they kind of hushed up. They knew about it. But Jack was, Jack was as promiscuous as Donald Trump for sure, right? Wouldn't you agree with that, or more?
Probably both.
So I mean,
the same
when
category.
you look back at but was Jack Kennedy, for the short time he was with us, was he a good president?
I think he was.
I think so too. Have you ever listened to a secret society speech?
No.
Well, I can't play it this week, but
right.
I'll play it next week. I did play it this morning in Fall River, but if you listen to that speech, you'll know why he was killed. Okay? And Trump is coming.
I believe there's much more to his death than we know.
Amen. But that being said, Trump has come out with many of the same statements, and this is, now you're talking on your personal feelings to Trump and all that, but let's look beyond that. Trump is hated not just by the Democrats, or it's hated by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. And there's I can play. Michael Moore came out with a YouTube video and talking about he's actually favoring Trump because he says the enemy of my enemy is my friend in a sense.
See, here's where the problem I have is. I think he has succeeded in mesmerizing people.
What?
He ain't going to do a stinking thing for the average person.
All right.
This man has showed himself to be crooked
Okay, so
self-centered.
Okay,
we're going to bring manufacturing back to America. He can't bring his own manufacturing back to America.
Wait a minute. Let's have a conversation here. So you're telling me he's doing the same to us as Obama did to us?
No, I'm not saying that.
Well, absolutely you are saying it, because Obama put us all to sleep too.
That's just a diversionary tactic.
By who? Me?
Yeah. Exactly. I'm saying what I think.
Okay.
I am one of the things that most fascinates me right now, it is clear that the Russians are hacking us so that Trump can win.
I don't believe it at all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know everybody lies except Donald Trump. Why aren't we seeing his tax returns? Tell you why. It's not that he isn't paying taxes. I think all of us know he isn't paying taxes. I'd love to see his financial connections with Mother Russia.
Excuse me. Let me enlighten you about something. The only person who's done business with Mother Russia has been the Hillary campaign, and well, not the campaign, but Hillary Clinton and her foundation. They arranged that the Russians oligarchs could purchase 10% of U.S. uranium. And they were the Clinton Foundation was richly rewarded with donations from the Russian oligarchs. She and Bill Clinton has been to Russia, met with Putin privately. So if anyone has a relationship with the Russians, it's been the Clintons. Okay, not Trump. Trump doesn't even own a hotel.
I'm mesmerized by that.
Listen,
you got Manafort, who had a top Trump person, strong connections with the Ukraine, and therefore Putin. You have
excuse me.
Excuse me. Let me finish the statement. A top foreign advisor who has financial interest in Russia and has given speeches in Russia criticizing America.
But Manafort, for your information, the Ukrainians and the Russians are far from getting along. So that's not a connection that works.
There is a connection now.
That doesn't work.
He certainly wants to keep his thumb over the Ukraine.
Well, listen, you have
to. Then you see people like Bannon, who is kind of neo-Nazi, and Breitbart is so right-wing. It's incredible.
Well, okay, right-wing. I mean, so you got lefties on her side, you got right-wings on his side, but the country is in need of a reset. And he's the only guy that I think that's going to bring it forward, and not if she gets in, it's a continuing. It's Obama's third term.
More of the same. If he gets in, I think he's going to crash it. And I speak my heart one more time. I think anybody who thinks Trump is going to do anything for the average person, he certainly has no history of that. They're fools.
Well, don't think with your heart.
Well, I also think with my brain.
Okay.
All
right. I mean, I'm not knocking you for that. It's good to have a heart. I mean, it's good to have it because, but think about it. So often we've been mistreated because we think with our heart, and we've been taken advantage of. And
I think that's statement, and I won't disagree with it.
And so I hate to be a little more cynical, but I don't think Trump is the end all be all by no means. But we cannot continue down the road we've been going, so we need a reformer. Now,
but you also got to admit it can get worse.
Well, you know what? I think it's going to get worse before it gets better, no matter who gets in. But at least if we take listen, it's kind of like you suppress your fever. A fever serves a function to kill off the bugs that are eating inside of you. All right, so the bugs are going to kill you, and the fever is supposed to kill them before it kills you. Sometimes the fever kills you too. But
Trump said it in his own words. He could go on Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, and he would get away with it.
All right, well that's
sick.
Well, but listen. And that's the shortcomings of his personality. But let's look at the policies. We need reforms, and unfortunately, I gotta let you go though. We got people backed up.
Talk to you next week.
Thanks for the call.
Bye now.
Let's see. Thank you for holding. You're up.
Well, I'm glad I didn't send my kid to college because you do see the undercover videos on TV today, and you hear math professors talking about politics, trying to influence the kids because they really got no brain, and they don't have much of a brain when they go with educators like that.
Yeah.
Because I tell you right now, Donald Trump is not no antichrist or whatever you want to call him. That's the most insulting thing I ever heard. Hillary Clinton just go in the record books and look around at her, and that'll tell you the whole story.
Yeah.
The whole story. The guy speaks off the cuff, and he's like myself. I speak off the cuff, so I don't speak perfectly. You can call me an antichrist, but I get the job done. There are doers in this world, Ralph, and there are people that think they can do. I'm a doer. And when doers do things, they don't really do it with a lot of finesse.
Yeah.
And a finesser is a bullshitter.
Yeah.
I'm a doer. You want something done, we'll get it done.
You have to watch your language, by the way. You're on the air.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I BS them.
Yeah.
But when you get things done, you get them done, and there's usually sometimes collateral damage. And if you're going to talk about getting things done and being politically correct and speak properly and all that, that's a bunch of baloney. And we've had enough of Barack Hussein Obama and the rest of his followers. And you know what we've been saying? Oh, God help us now. God help us now. Well, there must be a God.
Well, we're at a crossroad. You know, I liked reading history and studying history to see the future. And one of these comments here, propaganda works best when those who are being manipulated are confident they are acting on their own free will. Joseph Goebbels. When you read into some of these prose from these guys of the past, those who really knew how to manipulate the news media, and these are the guys. This is the playbook they use. I mean, they even. I mean, everything's managed. Everything is in front of you. I mean, Trump is like a bull in a china closet. I don't argue that. And has he got personality shortcomings? Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, and I have mine. I mean, we all have it.
I have plenty. I'm basically the same way, but I'm a doer.
Now, is he a rich a-hole? Yeah, in some aspects he is. But I have never heard someone bring up comments as sincerely as he has that just don't. You know, it's amazing. He goes to in front of the Detroit Council, I don't know if it was a chamber meeting. It's on YouTube. You can pull it up, or any of the other news sites. And he tells in front of the Ford high-up executives that, hey, listen, you want to shut your factories down and export your jobs to Mexico and China? That's okay. Do it. You're going to bring these cars back into America. You're going to have a 35% tariff. Now, they're all looking at each other and say, son of a blank blank. You may want to make billion-dollar investments overseas and out of the country, and they're going to bring these cars back in, pay a 35% tariff, and we have no more competitive advantage. Well, that's it.
There you go.
So Joe Hitt, the ragman, the average rank-and-file blue-collar guy, is defying his unions who have sent him to fly with Hillary all over and saying, hey, this guy says he wanted to protect our jobs. Now, maybe we're being fed crap. Who knows? We'll see. But he's made so many commitments in that. Never before has anyone told Democrat or Republican, because they grease both sides of the street. Okay? They grease the Democratic side, I think, more and than the Republican side. And they've had their way, and they've exported all these jobs, and we have to kind of we're going back to a third world nation, and third world nations have tariffs to protect their industries, and guess what? We've gone full circle, and we got so many young people are functionally illiterate, and we're spending all this money on education. We have a real problem here in this country, and they're culturally illiterate, functionally illiterate. They have no knowledge of history. I mean, I come from a very humble background educationally, but you have to educate yourself. Hey, we got to go. Thanks for listening.
I got no educational background.
Well, you're doing okay, Larry. You're doing okay. Your checkbook's pretty good. See you later, buddy. Thanks for listening, folks. Catch us next week. Stay safe. God bless. Check us out at ralphscars.com. Stop by the dealership. We need your business. Definitely. It's a struggle. And we try to give you good value. Thank you for listening. Catch you next week.
New Bedford's News Talk Station.